I'm gonna go with the most odd thing in this office is painter's tape.
What are you guys doing? Painting?
No, there is
So
there is no painting happening in this entire building or even probably on this block. And how did we end up with painter's
it
tape?
just randomly shows up in the office.
Yeah, like it's like, okay, did we run out of like regular tape that we said, hey, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and use some painter's tape and that'll do
It,
the trick.
it might be the office gnome. He probably traded that for something else. What are you missing?
That's a good question. I haven't seen the stapler in a couple of
There you
days.
go. That office gnome
Uh-huh.
has your stapler.
They're like, hey, they don't need staplers. You guys can use tape.
Just tape
Oh
the
my,
pages together.
what is
It's
going
painter's
on in
tape.
this?
It'll peel off easy.
I don't even know what is happening anymore in this building. Anyways, welcome to See a Comic Weekly, where we are here to tape the pieces of your heart together. And I have the tape for
Oh,
you.
is that a Valentine's Day thing?
It really is. I'm gonna try to come up with some Valentine's Day puns from here until we get there. So
Oh man, that's a couple weeks.
I know, man. I did. Maybe it started that a little too soon. Maybe I should have waited until next week to do that. What's going on, Troy?
Hey, new year, new problems.
I mean, hey, new year, new problems. 2024 is definitely lining up for a lot of new stuff. What's been going on with? I'm pretty sure you've been pretty busy with just getting the year started for you guys. You guys have a lot out the gate, right?
Yeah, we've got a in-store signing in February with Joey Lee Cabral. He's a semi-local artist out of El Paso. He's got one of the variant covers for a comic coming out in February. So we're going to have him in there. He'll sign those comics for you. We're going to have a CGC there.
Yes.
Then get it CGC and get that pretty yellow label, and nobody can refute that you had Mr. Cabral sign your comic.
That's right. And of course, that's very important, especially later when you're looking at the authenticity. Well, that's going to basically tell you right there that it's pretty authentic and they got you
Yeah.
covered.
CGC, if they don't witness it themselves, they don't authenticate it. So that's a pretty good authentication right there.
So, and that's pretty cool, man. The fact that you could get something like that and have it authenticated, because I think some people may not often think about that. Sometimes when you try to get something signed or get something like, no, it's for real. I was there. Well,
Hmm.
I could say it was real. How many other people are saying the same thing?
Yeah, I get that all the time. The store they'll bring in and say, "Hey, I had this signed by so and so." I was like, "Where's the certificate?" I didn't get it. I did, but I had it. They did it in front of me. I was like, "That's great." I can't turn around in good faith and sell that it's signed by him.
You know what? And I've also seen, and because for some reason, a while back, I was watching a lot of Pawn Stars. And I don't know why. I don't know why this brings it up. But like, even if you had a picture of the moment or whatever, that's not exactly, that doesn't count for anything.
No, you can take that picture and sell 7 or 8 copies you scribbled on yourself.
Yeah.
The certificate of authenticity is only as good as the person who issues the certificate.
Yeah.
If you don't have a certificate at all, it's just scribbling. It's writing on the cover.
Exactly. And by the way, guys, you could Google anybody's signature and trace it. I mean, there's so many ways, and then you can say, oh, well, no, he signed it, but I took a picture with him so you could prove it. No, like there's so many. You think that you're outsmarting, but it's probably not gonna work.
No.
I say
That's
probably
why
it's not gonna work at all.
use your CGC, use JSA, use all those reputable
Mhm.
authenticators, and that just puts you one step above these guys who I met him on the street and he signed it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So
great. Can't
now
prove it.
at that point, that's for personal collection. I mean, I've had a couple things
Mhm.
signed over the years, but that's something that it's like, I happen to be at a show or we just happen to run into them at a Denny's or whatever the case may be. And it's like, cool. I mean, I'm not
Who'd you run
exactly
into at a Denny's?
ran into a lot of people. It was in Vegas, so you're gonna run into some crazy people in there. Um, yeah, I know. I mean, but it's also one of those things where you're like, okay, I'm not exactly looking to sell this autographed napkin. It's probably at this point a collector's item for yourself. I
My
mean,
signed Denny's napkin.
I mean, but see, that's what I'm saying. You can't walk into a store and be like, "Hey, is this valuable?" Like, come on, man.
Well, look, that's where he had moons over Miami, and that's right there in the Miami
Look,
part.
Gabriel Iglesias signed his napkin, and I want you to believe me because I was there eating breakfast at the same time he was.
Yeah.
And yes, it was Gabriel Iglesias. So,
Lovely. That
I
that
mean,
I can imagine him being at a Denny's. Yeah, not a
right,
problem.
it's like, who you think I was running into, like a big time rock star? Yeah, I ran into Jay-Z at Denny's. That don't even sound right. Him
Well, we
and
ran into Jared at a Subway. This was
really?
before he got arrested.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah, this obviously this was way, way before
Yeah, he was
the
doing
yeah,
promo stuff down in Tampa, and, their contract if you're the face of Subway, when you go out to eat, you gotta eat at Subway or they're gonna break
yeah.
your contract. They can't have pictures of Jared eating, at Quiznos.
They're like, "Yeah, we don't even wanna see you walk into that building or even stand next to that
Yeah.
building." Yeah,
Yeah, but he was there and we happened to see him. I was like, dude, that's gotta be Jared. It looks exactly like him. So, my wife, no problem walking straight up to people like, hey, are you Jared? And he's like, yes. She's like, will you sign this for me? He's like, sure. He
what did
signed
they
one of the
sign?
nutritional pamphlets from
Oh,
Subway.
I mean, but yeah, see, I mean, there you go. I mean, you gotta try to figure out and I hate it, man, because sometimes when you find that celebrity that's really nice, because guys, by the way, I'm gonna let you know, sometimes they don't wanna be bothered.
Mhm.
And so but the ones that have it, be like, "Yeah, man, sure. Yeah, come over here. I'll take a picture and I'll sign something for you." And it's always the time when you're like, "I have nothing on me." Like,
Uh,
"So
sign my
sign
forehead.
this sign this nutritional sign my son. Here you go. Put your
I'll get
signature
it
on his
tattooed
forehead."
on him.
Like, "Hey," he goes, "Sorry, Matthew."
It's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's worth it.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. So yeah, obviously the importance of getting those authentications and like you said, any events that you go to, and I know you guys do that with Comic Cons, especially having that, so that way they're able to get that authenticated. And it's always just that little extra step, but goes a long way. And I don't know, I'm still one of those that when I go out and get a signature and a picture, it's always from my collection, unlike some of these others that obviously looking for the resale.
Yeah, I mean, with JSA, it's almost where it's like if you did it at a show, they had the $10 show specials. So for
Yeah.
another $10, you get the little holographic sticker. So if anybody tries to, you didn't really meet him, say, "Oh yeah, JSA says I did."
Yeah. So I got the proof right here. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, make sure you guys go check out the in-store signing. What about Alamogordo? What you guys got going out there besides cold
Uh,
weather? I believe it's cold out in Alamogordo.
it's cold here.
Yeah, it is.
I
But
can't
keep
feel
in
my
mind,
toes.
I've been inside right now all morning long, so I haven't stepped out once, so I'm worried this morning to see how cold it is,
Yeah,
but
well, I can look out there. The frost is melted off of off the grass, so
no.
it's warmer than 33 degrees. Alan Gordo, we're actually working with Allen Theaters on doing some promotion with Madam Web.
Oh, nice.
So we might be doing some ticket giveaways at both stores. Um, I really don't want to do it at just one. If they can't do it at both, then I'm just going to say no. But we should be doing some ticket giveaways at both stores for Madame Web
Ooh,
coming out
and
in February.
that one's one to look forward to. We got, Daniel who just messaged us right now asking about, Comic-Con. Any other guests you're planning to bring for Comic-Con? Obviously, nobody that you don't think you can confirm as of now.
I can answer yes. I have. Can I tell you? There's one I'm still is 99% sure. I'm just waiting for the contract to come back. The agent this agent's notoriously slow at getting stuff back to me, but it's a pretty big one. For the wrestling fans, I signed the contract last night for Tatanka, so we'll have Tatanka at El Paso Comic Con.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen him at a lot of cons
Yeah,
here in the area. I don't know if he does a lot, but I don't want to bring the same guys that you see at every single Comic Con.
yeah.
And I saw him available. I'm like, hey, you want to come to El Paso? He's like, yeah, sure. Give me a contract. Here you go, buddy.
Yo, man, and that's what I like is that the fact that like at the Comic Cons, there's something like you have broken it down to where it's like you're gonna get the interest from different avenues, whether it's those that are really into the old school television shows or whatever the case may be. I mean, there's just a lot to look forward to. So obviously, I'm sure more announcements will be coming up soon once you get your contracts and stuff situated.
Yeah, I got another one kind of. She signed the contract this morning. She's already promoting it on her Instagram, so I guess I can go ahead and say it as well as Kat Cressida. You probably don't know her by name, but you know her voice. She does voice work for everyone, dude. If you go to Disney, she's the voice of the bride, Constance Hatchaway in the Haunted Mansion. That's her voice, her face on that thing. She
Oh,
does
wow.
Elektra in a lot of the Marvel video
Ah,
games. She does Jessie from Toy Story. You know, the female cowboy puppet.
yeah, yeah.
She does Jessie. She does Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab. For you sports guys, she's the voice on Pardon the Interruption, the NFL Draft. She's that female voice you hear. She's all over, man. She does so many voices, and she's bringing some really cool stuff to sign. She showed me. She has a lot of the Funko Pops that have been vaulted, but she still has them, so she'll be signing those and then take them over JSA.
Yeah. Obviously,
Yeah,
that's the next thing.
she has special plaques from the Haunted Mansion. You know, the little thing, the oval they have, this Haunted Mansion's all decorated. She has those. She'll be signing. She has some stuff that's exclusive to her because she does a ton of work with Disney and Marvel. So they let her have her own exclusive stuff to sign. So this is
Wow.
stuff you're only going to get from her, dude.
Dang,
Look
that's
her up.
a
Her IMDb thing is like pages long. She does a lot of voices you don't
I was
realize.
I was gonna say in the voice work, it just expands from just different areas. So the fact that there's something and like you mentioned too, it's like you wouldn't realize, but it's like, no, she did the voice work for this item, and she did this. And speaking of voice, Daniel, he messaged us
Ah,
and says, y'all do a great job. So shout outs to Daniel.
love
Thank
you,
you for tuning
Daniel.
in. Oh man. So yeah,
Whenever
we
you
got a
want to
chance.
come back, dude, we have an anime event now.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's awesome. So
We
yeah,
wouldn't
thank
mind
you.
having Jinbei at the anime event.
Yeah, man. Oh, when we got a chance to talk to by the way, thanks for that you set that up this last time around. We got a chance to welcome him to the show, and it was just great, man. And just hearing just the stuff that voice actors do and just
Yeah.
even how he got to that role. I mean, man, I think me and Daniel could have talked for a while, but then I'm like, yeah, it's 7 in the morning and we're now going on 45 minutes. Yeah, I don't think we can keep it here that long. Guy needs to get his day started.
Yeah, and a lot of times they're hitting you between voice acting gigs. You know,
Yeah.
I got 20 minutes between takes from this, and then I have to go back in. So they're shooting through the spokes on a lot of those interviews to get you. So if you got 45 minutes with him, that was great.
Yeah, oh man. So no, great conversation with him. Yeah, shout outs to him, man. And yeah, so call Troy if you have if you ever want to just roll through
Not a problem
over
bringing
to
Daniel was amazing. Everybody loved it. Everybody loves Jinbei.
yeah.
Um,
Oh
he's
man.
done other stuff, but he's mostly known for Jinbei. So yeah, man. We tried, like he said, we try to balance out. We don't want to go too heavy in one area. Sometimes it leans a little heavier one, but we want to cover all aspects. So you got, your wrestling for your sports guys. We have the replica cars for the gearheads, voice actors for the younger crowd, with the anime and animation and stuff. And then uh, some of the old nostalgia TV and movie people.
Yeah. So it's a good one, man. And that's why Troy is so busy, guys. You guys thought he was just calling people and inviting them to a birthday party, like
Uh,
we say every time. It's not that easy.
Yeah, it's a juggling act. You don't
Man.
want to go too heavy on it. Plus, you don't want to get too many guests because then the vendors don't make money. I mean, there's a lot of things you have to take into account. I know everybody always sends me messages or on Facebook. You should bring this guy in. You should bring that. I'd love to, man, but we already have like 4 voice actors, so I want to kind of concentrate in another area now. But when they make these recommendations, I always write them down in the back of my mind. So you know what? I have other events. We'll be doing this next year. Maybe I can catch them then.
Yeah, Daniel says, "Love to see you again sometime. I have a major back surgery coming up, but we'll be back there soon." So, yeah.
I'll get you a
So
padded chair, Daniel.
we'll take care of you, Daniel. We got you. Troy, let's go ahead and nerd out because there's quite a bit of things. One of the things that actually came to a shock to me last night, and it's crazy. The last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, is now on FX. Didn't that just come out in theaters like 2 years ago or sometime?
Well, 2 years is quite a quite a long
Is
time.
it?
Yeah,
I'm trying
but
to think of when the last time a Tom Holland movie, but yeah, so if you didn't watch it, it's now on FX for you to enjoy. It's not on Disney Plus, which still, I mean, there's that whole deal with Spider-Man and,
it's Sony, and yeah,
it's tough. So yeah, you're not gonna see it, but you'll see it on FX. So yeah, it'll probably be running for the next couple of months. So just catch it randomly on TV.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep looking over at my puppy. She's chewing on paper. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember what I'm watching now. I'm trying to catch up on One Piece. Uh, Not because of Daniel. I started watching it long before then. There's like over 1,000 episodes of One Piece, and when the Netflix series came out, I'm like, I should probably watch the actual anime it's based on.
Before you get to the
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't got to. I'm only on episode like three, almost 400. They haven't gone to Fishman Island yet, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's where they're going to pick up Jinbei. So I'm looking
So
forward to that because then as soon as I hear, I'm like, I know that guy. I know that guy.
yeah, do that, yeah. That's always the great thing too, especially when you watch these shows and these series and anything, you're like, "Okay." Like, I tell you, man, when we got a chance to when you brought the, voice of Cell from Dragon Ball, you don't know
Yeah,
how many
Amy.
times I was like, "Yeah, we sat through his panel. Yeah, we knew that. We had a test. We took a picture of that guy."
Yeah,
And they're just like,
yeah.
"What?"
I
It's like, "We
touched
took a"
him.
I was like, right? It's like total nerd, like, I don't know what to say, like, I was like, "Yeah, like, that's right. That's me. I got to do that.
Is
We did
that
it."
that elitist thing? Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
wow.
like,
Talk to
yeah,
him.
I'm just doing normal things, what can I say?
Oh yeah,
Just
him. Yeah, I know him.
but, yeah, so, there's definitely a lot that's been popping up as of late. One of them being, of course, Ted, the series. I know we laughed a little bit about it, but yeah, apparently it's gotten great reviews, as far as Rotten Tomatoes has, ranked it pretty high and is actually giving it its praises. But I think that, of course, always goes to, Seth MacFarlane, who just man, I mean, between all the projects that he puts together, and I know most people think, "Oh, he just has Family Guy." No, there's quite a bit of
American
projects that
Dad.
he yeah, so
Uh,
it's just or the Orville?
the Orville. The Orville is amazing, and I hope they don't can it because it's trying to find a home.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
and then
he's a good writer.
yeah, I mean, so whatever he's putting together, and then, of course, now with this TED series, many people are thinking, season 2, I think they released the whole season on Peacock. I started watching it, I think I'm episode 4 so far. And, it's been pretty good. It's a nice little take on kind of the movies, and I know a lot of people think, "Oh, it's a dumb teddy bear that talks." No, it's got a nice storyline that goes to it. Yeah, the bear obviously does its stuff, but it's got a kind of an interesting storyline to it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to see. I thought they greenlit a season two already,
Yeah,
but
so and I
yeah, I like the movies. I wasn't sure how it was going to work as a series, but I guess it is working.
Yeah. So, one of the things though that this does lead to, conversations that you and I have had, especially when it comes to Seth MacFarlane, because he now has obviously this show is running on NBC Universal through its streaming service. He has Family Guy that's on Fox. We've heard many times that he wasn't happy with Fox and Family Guy being there. So I think the question really came is he trying to make these relationships and hope that he'll be able to move Family Guy to a different network or even land the shows like The Orville on NBC Universal? Because right now it doesn't have a home, it's just on Hulu, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it's been years since the last season, and
Yeah.
I mean it's such a good. It's like Star Trek for the new generation. Um, I was really enjoying Orville, man. I'm hoping they don't can it, please,
And
Seth.
and there's just been some success with this guy that I think that right now I could see if in an NBC, especially when you start getting to the negotiations, that they say, "Hey, we're gonna try to see what we could do to get those other shows, on our services." Because right now, I think Peacock is just looking to see what shows they can get on their streaming service and how they can make theirs stand out.
That'd be a good grab for them if they could snag him on their streaming service because he's got a following.
Yeah, he definitely does, and, I don't know, every once in a while, I'll get a good TikTok of somebody asking him to do a voice of one of the characters that he does. I mean, they'll be, like, "Hey, can you go ahead and do this?" And say, "Yeah." And
Yeah, I
he
think him
seems
and
like a
Alex Borstein do most of the voices on there. A couple other people. I mean, you got Seth Green and Kunis. I can't remember her first name. Her, Ashton Kutcher's girl. So
Daniel
yeah,
says, "Show the pet."
I had to pick her up because she was eating all my paperwork. She is a terror, not a terrier, a
The
terror.
terror.
Yeah, she is. she's a handful. That's why I kept looking down. She was chewing paper right by my. I'm trying to motion with my hand to get her to stop. And she
Oh, no,
ignores me.
that's always and it always happens whenever I that happens with my the new puppy that we have. It's like anytime I have to go on camera or record something, they decide to start barking, and I'm just kinda like, "Okay, really? You've been quiet this whole time. The minute I need to record something, you start barking?" I was like, okay. Yeah, this
Yeah,
isn't gonna
and
work."
typical woman, she ignores me whenever I tell her anything.
Oh, man. So it's been award season. This week kicked off a couple of awards that were airing on TV. We'll get with the Critics' Choice Awards because this one seems to really have a lot of the movies that definitely we've talked about in 2023. Unlike other award shows where you're like, I don't even recall even hearing about that movie. And you're like, okay, but they won Best Picture. But the Critics' Choice Awards recently had their awards. And here's just some of the names that, of course, pop up as winners. You got Best Picture, Oppenheimer. Best Director, Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer. Some other ones, some notable ones. Robert Downey Jr. winning Best Supportive Actor. You also have, let's see, Best Original Screenplay for Barbie. So it looks like the Critics' Choice Awards was dominated by Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah, Barbenheimer. Yeah,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
list
I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. I think it's coming to streaming next month.
yeah,
So,
on Peacock.
but I know
So,
Barbie was I can't give any criticism to Barbie. I love that movie and I didn't expect to.
yeah, just kinda looking for something that's not Barbie and Oppenheimer. Oh, here we go. Best Animated Feature, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which was a really good one, and, if you guys haven't seen that one on Netflix, that one I am man, I want the part 3 already.
Yeah, it's they left it on a big cliffhanger. So, and you
Yeah,
get to see like a million different Spider-Man variants. So,
yeah, and
and I'm
especially
not
for those
exaggerating. It's a million.
that wanted something like that in the last Spider-Man, the actual live version, you get that in this animated version, and it was done perfectly, and it was really good. Oh, here's one. Best song. Can you guess what best song was?
The Ken song from Barbie.
Yep.
I
I'm
kind of
Just
figured.
Kin. I'm Just Kin wins best
I'm
song.
enough.
Yeah, I'm Knuff. So, yeah, I think that's gonna be kind of the awards this season is you're gonna see the back and forth between Barbie and Oppenheimer, when it comes to the film side of everything, and we'll have to wait and see, but those were 2 top movies of last year that just had a lot of I don't know, had a lot of juice behind them, man, and people love those movies, and they were doing great at the box office too.
Oh, they owned the box office for a while. All those
They
movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and I mean, even they even said as far as, with Barbie, how many, there's been talks, and keep in mind, don't take my word, this is obviously the blogs, potential spinoffs from Barbie. I mean, we've heard about a Ken movie, we've heard about, Alan getting his own movie.
If there's no Allen movie, we riot.
Yeah, I know. Alan, it was by the way, if he doesn't win an award, I mean, there's a best supporting award out there just waiting for
Oh,
Sarah.
they should name one after him, the Allen. He
The
just
Alan.
won the Allen.
He's gonna get a Razzie or something. But hey, man, so he's come a long way from Superbad. So
Or Arrested Development. That's the first thing I saw him in.
yeah, that's right. Arrested Development. Actually, I got into that show. Jackie as the one that told me about
Oh,
that show. I had never seen it,
the
and
first
then it
couple
was
of
on.
seasons are amazing, but when they
Yeah,
tried to come back to it, they just lost something along the way.
yeah. There's a clip that around here that we constantly imitate is the one where he's walking sad. Oh, I can't even remember what episode it was, but yeah, there's always that music and everything, and we always imitate that one whenever we're going home. We're like, "Yep, it's the Arrested Development clip." Whenever we leave for the day. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. Just I don't know. I could see they're definitely wanting to do another Barbie movie, and if the way the awards have gone, don't be shocked if any award show that you see will feature Barbie and Oppenheimer, Barbenheimer, as you called it.
Yeah, yeah. Did they just do the Emmys not long ago too?
Yeah, that was another one that they did. Obviously, Joe Coy did not get the best reception for that one. Poor guy.
Well, I was thinking more. Elton John got his EGOT finally.
Yeah, that's right. He got his EGOT, and what else? Of course, on that award show, I believe as well. You did see, Succession win some awards.
Mhm.
Obviously, Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. You had Barbie win Best Picture. So, yeah, no, I mean, this is just, I think, the beginning to what we're getting ready to see. I mean, People Choice Awards are coming up next, and, I'm sure that one will have a big Barbie following because that one did perform better than Oppenheimer just by a little bit in the box office, so I think you could see, Barbie dominate the People Choice Awards.
Do they still do the MTV Movie Awards with the
I
spaceman?
Man, I think so, but I don't think anyone's been watching MTV. If you watch MTV right now, they probably got some rerun of a show that
There's no
nobody's
music on MTV whatsoever.
there's no programming on that show. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you the last time I actually watched MTV. I know they try to once again, they'll, like, do these award shows, but it always comes in at a time where you're like, "Oh, the award show was tonight, didn't even know about it." So,
Maybe we should start our own award show
we should. We really should. Like, I don't even know.
invite these guys. Maybe one of the celebrities will actually show up.
I know, but here and it's gonna be an award made out of popsicle sticks.
It's just a little chili pin. Here you go.
Right, there you go. Hey, congratulations.
You won the Cruci.
You're hot stuff.
There you go.
We're gonna call them the hot stuff awards. It could be mistaken though, because if we're pinning a chili to Ken, that might be a little weird, so but, I mean,
Yeah,
if he
well,
shows up, that'd be even great. Um, some biopics to be on the lookout for, this one, of course, these headlines trending this morning, Richard Simmons biopic, is coming
yes.
out with Pauly Shore, gonna be playing, Richard Simmons.
Yeah, I was skeptical about that until I saw the side by side pics, and I was like, "Oh man, if he can get the acting part of it down, he's got the look.
Yeah,
He's convinced me with the look." And
man.
everything I've seen him act in, I don't think I've seen him in anything serious. So I don't know how his chops are for that, but I'm
It's
kind of
gonna
excited.
but I think this could be the role that really changes things around for not that nothing's wrong, but I think Pauly Shore has always been this comedic actor. I mean, just look at his resume, man. I mean, a lot of iconic roles, but nothing to where you're taking the Pauly Shore character. He's playing someone totally different. And like you said, those side by sides, man, it's like you took me back to the 80s, 90s. I was like, oh my gosh, you look just like him.
I started sweating to the oldies when I saw that.
I know, I really did. I was like, "Oh my gosh," but there is a little bit of a problem when it comes to this biopic, as, headlines this morning are saying that Richard Simmons, isn't exactly behind this movie, says that,
Is he
he
still alive?
never Yeah, he's still alive. I didn't think he was alive.
I didn't either.
He says, "You may have heard that, they may be doing a movie about me with Pauly Shore. I've never given my permission for this movie, so don't believe everything you read. I just try to live a quiet life and be peaceful. Thank you for the love and support." So, that's probably why, because he's out of it, man. He is out of the spotlight. He doesn't the last thing I think he did, which was maybe a decade ago, was maybe a commercial?
He did a lot of cameos, years back, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen him at all lately. You used to
yeah.
see him everywhere.
You wanna talk about he was just like when it came to marketing, he was everywhere, man. The '80s and the '90s, that was just that's him. That character, that just yeah, man. He even made his appearances in, what was it? The Nutty Professor? Had
Yep.
cameos in there. Just everywhere, man, and he was that person at that time that just went but I'm intrigued by the story too because of what we see probably to what really happened. I just, well, hopefully they present a good project that Pauly Shore is like, "Hey," he would like to get behind, even if he's not in the movie, but is at least kind of in a sense coaching and telling people about the stories.
Yeah, and maybe help promote it.
Mhm.
How much
Yeah.
interest would that draw from people?
Oh my gosh.
How
At this
old
point,
is Richard Simmons now?
I don't even know, man. Like you and I, like, he's alive? I didn't know.
He was no spring chicken, when he was doing that stuff. I think he was in his 30s or 40s, right?
Yeah, he was up there in his 40s. I'm actually looking up right now how old is he?
Because he was a
He's
heavier dude and lost all the weight, and is why he started that sweating to the oldies.
75 years old is how old Richard Simmons is.
I guess that's not too old.
Now, it's not bad, but you're right. He was in his 30s, 40s when all this was going on.
Wow. Yeah, if that's a good story and it remains true to the facts, I'm down to watch it.
Yeah, we'll see, and, like we were saying, this could be a pretty big role for Pauly Shore because it's, I don't know, as an actor, and obviously with him having his comedic chops, I think this is definitely gonna be a take. I'm sure there'll be its little humor sides to things, but, I mean, it's time to
Well,
see,
Richard
Pauly
Simmons
Shore.
had a couple, he was a little comedic too,
Yeah,
with his appearances. So
I know, but man, it's been a minute since we've seen Pauly Shore in anything
come
too.
on, Paulie, I'm rooting for you.
A lot of
I almost tried to bring him into a con. I've seen him with a couple agents.
Yeah,
I'm just not, I was thinking maybe do a comedy show on Friday after the con with Pauly Shore, and then have him at the con Saturday, Sunday.
yeah.
I'm still kicking it around, so you guys might actually his price might go up if this thing gets made. So
If this thing becomes, because that was another talk whenever this was kinda in development, was, is this the role that could put him in award contention? I mean, is this something that, depending on his performance and just kinda the take on this movie, could this be that movie that they're like, "Hey, there's a lot of possibilities for this to be a huge night for him and whoever creates this biopic."
yeah, even if it just puts him back in the forefront of people's thoughts, man. Like you said, when's the last time you saw Pauly?
I mean, Vegas, I know he was doing comedy shows in Vegas. I mean, but nothing to the point to where it's, like, so out there that they were like, "Oh my god, he's doing commercials or he's doing this." No, it's just he's just a traveling comedian at this point.
Wow. Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw him do a stand up. This was back when we lived in Maryland. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
In a little Hagerstown, Maryland, at a little club. So, I
Oh,
mean,
man.
yeah, I'd love to see him make a comeback. I love his movies. And I love to see these comeback stories,
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he can do it.
Favorite Pauly Shore movie?
Probably Encino Man. Was it Encino Man with
Brendan
Brandon?
Fraser?
God, I can't think. Yeah, Brendan Fraser. Which, if you
Yeah.
haven't seen The Whale yet with Brendan Fraser, oh my God, I watched it
I
on
haven't seen it.
the plane flight, dude. I know it won a lot of awards. I was like, yeah, okay. I was on the plane. I figured I'd watch it. That thing had it elicited so many conflicting emotions out of me. You don't know whether to like the character, to hate the character, to you don't know whether to be sad or to be happy. I mean, it's just I couldn't even cry because I was confused on what I should feel. It was actually
And
really good.
and then you wonder why Brendan Fraser won all those awards last
Oh,
season.
he deserved it. He really
Oh,
did.
mine, and it's a movie that I remember watching a lot as a youth back in the day, In the Army Now from
Ah,
Pauly Shore.
I
I mean,
figured
you
you'd say
had
son-in-law.
no, that was a good one too. That one was a really good one. That one, had Andy Dick in it. It had David
Mhm.
Allen Greer in it. It was good. It had, S.A. Morales, Bob from La
Oh
Bamba.
yeah, forgot
Yeah,
about
so
that. Yeah.
yeah, it was probably one of those movies that kind of went under the radar, but because he had did Biodome and,
Oh, I forgot
Encino
about
Man.
Biodome.
Encino Man was another big one, and by the way, for those that loved the Goofy movie, he was also a voice character in that one.
Yeah, yes, he
Yeah.
was.
So, yeah, I'm with you, man. I would like to see a Pauly Shore resurgence, in 2024, so we'll see how it works out with him and the movie that, he's the biopic he's gonna be working on.
Team Polly.
Uh, before we get out of here, some, announcements, Top Gun 3 is looking like that is a go. They're finalizing, and they're saying Tom Cruise may be back for Top Gun 3.
They might as well call it Tom Gunn. He's been
Tom
in all of them.
The last one was really good that I mean, as much doubt as there was into a sequel and there being the length and time from sequels, I mean, it really did a good job. I'm curious to see where the next storyline goes, but, it definitely had a lot of people excited, so, I mean, why wouldn't you do a part 3 at this point?
I'd like to see them. I'm not against Tom being in it, but I'd like to see them scale back his involvement and start introducing that new crowd. With the Miles Tellers and all those
Yeah,
guys, and then we get a whole new generation of the fighter pilot movies because
yeah.
obviously there's an audience for it.
It was good, man. Miles Teller did a really good job on that movie. I mean, he hadn't exactly had the best of luck in films for a while there. I mean, that Fantastic Four, I thought he was gonna be a big one for him. Him and Michael B. Jordan. I thought that was gonna be a really good movie for them, but obviously there was different plans in the whole, superhero universe for them.
Yeah, I try not to mention that Fantastic Four movie.
I think they do the same thing too. But yeah, Miles Teller, I think, he got his second shot at redemption. He got his redemption movie, and it was really good. And you're right, man. Seeing that with him, you have Jay Ellis that was also in that. I mean, that would be really cool to just see them and maybe even what happens to them as they get older, or maybe them being in charge of a new crew. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah,
it'd be really cool.
and you have a couple of female pilots now, so
Yeah.
uh, that's it's good for them to have their representation. I mean, Barbie killed it, but people forget. Yeah, they're starting. The movies are starting to catch up with real life. You're starting to see women in a lot more roles like that,
Yeah.
just like you do in real life. So I'm all for that.
Yeah. So hopefully we get some more Top Gun action and maybe less Tom Cruise. I mean, Tom Cruise obviously is going to be a director, and there's nothing wrong with falling behind the scenes to put together this project. But I don't know. We'll,
With
we'll see.
10% less Tom Cruise.
10% more action and 10% less Tom Cruise.
Uh,
See? Oh, man. All right, before we get out of here, hit them with your socials if they wanna stay up to date with you. I know you'll have, more as we get closer to Comic Con, whether it's announcements and stuff, and if they wanna stalk you, how can they follow you on the socials?
we're all over interwebs. I got the Insta, I got the Meta, I got YouTube, and I got TikTok.
That's right. Make sure you follow him. Us, of course, Hot 103's Big Show on Facebook, Hot 103 Big Show FM on Instagram, and you can also follow me on TikTok, Joey on the FM, which I realized, man, I got 150 followers now. Look at me. I'm
You
climbing up
said
in the
Facebook.
I did. The Facebook.
You're old.
I am. I did. They're like, "Oh, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be on TikTok. Just stay
What
on
was
the
that?
Facebook."
What's Facebook?
That Facebook thingy, the Facebook.
I'll be selling my cassettes out of the trunk later in the garden
It's
in
like,
the parking lot.
if you guys would like to rent DVDs, I'm available. Be kind, please rewind.
Oh God.
I know, right? I'm definitely showing my age right now.
Ugh, yep.
Guys, this has been another edition of Zia Comic Weekly. We'll see y'all next week.
Later, nerds.